followed the story?
So it started with T's article. T wrote an article in on Milwaukee about not Milwaukee magazine, sorry, about the horror post scene in Kenosha. And a friend put me in touch and was like, I think that you'd have fun with this project, and I just got out of film school, so yeah, I was like, I definitely would love to work on this. And the first, I want to say year, we were really following the kind of following the relationships between everybody, and then when Decker passed away, we changed it. Well, we still kept following the relationships, but I think it did take a different turn.
So T, can you pick up a little bit on sort of like, so you wrote this article, but then this is a different kind of journalism. Can you talk a little bit about things that maybe were surprising as the film came together? Things you learned even beyond what you had already kind of established for us?
Well, I've always been attracted to unusual stories and maybe even weird stories. And sometimes those stories find me instead of me finding them. And so, like you saw in the beginning, I just at one point had a realization that I think that Kenosha has the most horror hosts per capita in the world. And that's an interesting hook to write a story on. And it was just so great to be the horror host because I got along with them instantly. Like, I like unusual, kind of weird people, and Dr. Destruction, and Decker. They were my type of people, you know? And I was so grateful to connect to that. So it was such a great story to fall into, and of course I didn't know where that story would go, but it went to interesting places, and Alicia did such a great job tying that all together, and all the horror hosts were wonderful with their time and participating in it. So.
I think what's interesting, you go on to be like, well, why on earth is Kenosha this place? And I don't know that we entirely answer it, but we discover that there's a deep community, and I think a very, very community-minded public television media group that certainly is facilitating quite a bit of it, which is sort of wonderful to discover as someone sort of in the space of community and media. Hosts, can you talk a little bit about, like, so obviously you're comfortable in front of the camera, this is not new, but what is it like to maybe sort of turn the lens onto your work rather than onto your hosting? If you're willing to share some of what you experience being the subject of the film as opposed to the presenters of the film. Anything?
We just have fun. We just have fun. We like to give you guys laughter. We're total dorks. Half dark, half geek, you know. We just have fun in life, you know, like everybody should, rather than everything so serious. And to give you guys a little escape, like you kind of said in there.
I also like to point out the fact that if you think about it, it's kind of inspiring because if we can do it, you can do it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You can get a little creative, a little artsy, and take some inspiration from what you see and make it your own. Pass it on down. Whoosh.
For me, I was pretty nervous the first couple of times. I developed a strange German accent because I was so nervous, and have since adopted it because, I have to keep filming, so I have to keep that accent in place, so it's fun. But it's 100% improv, so you come up with different ideas in your head as you go along. We try to base it off of whatever movie we're playing, so ideas are floating every time. I do the mad scientist on the show, so coming up with experiments is often quite difficult, so I don't explode in her house or wherever we are. But yeah, it's pretty fun, and you get very much used to the camera, and usually, pretending everybody's naked does not work. more with these guys, but yeah.
More math and more science. Matter science.
A bit. Oh yeah, Melanie doesn't speak. She's like our shy, bad little child monster girl that we always have to fix her wrongdoing. But she can maybe say one or two words, like something. Okay, well.
These are my girls. I love them. I love them with everything that I have, and with everything that happened at Decker, I don't know where I'd be without them.
Questions from you all? Keep going, but I think you'll probably have more to. Way in the back.
Do I come up or do I just
You
shout?
can yell and I'll try to
Yeah,
repeat it.
sounds good. Question for anybody, what would your advice be for any aspiring hosts?
So, advice for aspiring hosts.
That was,
You're not an aspiring host.
Thank you, because I did not want to yell. All right, so if you aspire to become a host, what you want to do, watch us, watch them, watch everybody. I want you to study, pick out what you like, what you don't, adjust it, and make it your own. It's a recipe, you know? It's like making chicken soup. Maybe you want a little bit more carrots, you want a little bit more onion, you know, you go with it. Same thing with you. Find your personality, get inspired, you know, and just have fun with it. And best of all, don't take it serious, you know? Oh, and best of all, oh yeah, that's right, I should. And best of all, make your own magic.
Yeah, I'll just add really quick, you know, I'm not a host myself, but from watching many hosts, I think the key ingredient is, you know, you've got 2-minute bumper segments. So you want to be funny, but you also want to be knowledgeable about the film that you're presenting. So, you know what the film is, and it's a couple of really snappy jokes to fit into that is the key ingredient.
You say you're not a host. Yet.
Yeah.
It's what Alicia said, yet. Others. Standing right here. Ooh, favorite films that you've hosted?
But I'll use this instead, so I don't talk so loud. Let's see. We do some Bela Lugosi films. We love Bela Lugosi. You know, who doesn't? Vincent Price. Yep. White Zombie.
Oh, I was saying White Zombie is my personal favorite, Bela Lugosi. We had were we doing the jokes in the cemetery for that one, I think? That's right, because the zombies were chasing us. I remember now. Carnival of Souls. That's another one. I love that one. That one's incredibly atmospheric. It holds up to, you know, like this day as well. Another personal favorite of mine and actually, Storm put on a really big production for this one. The Hills Have Eyes. So when we did that original movie, she also had a cast of cannibals terrorizing the cast in between. Yeah, the Hills Peeps, and things did not end well, let me tell you. So it was really fun to like have our own little correlating adventure along with the film itself.
Movie question. Surprise. That's the one I want. Go for it.
Can the host talk about, okay, so this is all through community access TV. Can you talk about, in the credits it was all the YouTube channels, right? Can you talk about the experience of going from a medium that is primarily like late night community television to how you gain an audience with TikTok and YouTube? Like, what is your experience from doing community television and trying to get an audience on modern cell phone media?
We have a segment called Words Are Hard. Storm, yeah, words are hard. So I'm going to give it to Barzilska.
Gorzelska makes words easy. Fun fact.
Zelska.
I I have a segment where I have fun facts. Also, fun fact, I used to work in the Kenosha Unified School District as a teacher for kindergarten through 8th grade as well, so I'm used to explaining. So I'd say the biggest difference from using the cable access to YouTube is cable access, they said, you can do whatever you want on there, you sure can. YouTube, oh no, no, no. You have to blur stuff out if it's, like trademarked and whatnot. You cannot show certain movies if they are not public domain. There's rules for that. So it's trickier, but once you figure out what you can and cannot do, the transition isn't too difficult.
You still gotta look in multiple areas to make sure it is public domain and it works.
One thing I'll add real quick is, used to be if you wanted to be a horror host, you needed to have a network TV show, which was very rare. And then, of course, with the internet being prevalent, you could do a show that's live streaming on YouTube. And now, some horror host shows break their show up into TikTok segments. So it does evolve with the technology of the day.
Have you done live hosting, like in a cinema, where someone gets the rights to something and then we pause and you do? Yeah, over at the Oriental Theater, we have that Shadowcast production of Rocky Horror, our longest running monthly screening. I'm imagining other iterations that we might be able to imagine of.
At different events, we do live hosting.
Yeah.
For the Halloween costume contest for Zergo's Productions, we often arrive as special guests, and Storm will go up there and announce the celebrities on stage, and she'll also announce the winners of the contest as well. And also the band, also interviewing and hosting the bands before they go on as well for segments portrayed on the show also.
Which is Abigail's segment.
I'm imagining like something you can't get rights to, but that that the cinema can. Sure. I'm ideating live in front of you all. It's fine. You'll all show up though if we do that. Other questions? You're in front of them. You're obligated. You said it in front of an audience. Go for it.
You've all been hosting for a long time now. I was curious, for people maybe looking to get into it, what would be your vision of a perfect future? How you'd like to see the horror scene evolve from here?
That's a very good question.
So the question's kind of like you've watched the horror hosting scene kind of
Are you
evolve.
asking just the horror host scene in general, or us with our show, or?
Both is good.
Yeah.
They're chatting, so I'll answer. Let them chat, Well, we don't have any huge expectations. Like I said, we're out there just having fun.
So we communicate telepathically. I already know, ahead of time what she's trying to say. Hence, words are hard. So when you don't have the expectations, you have the freedom to let creativity take you where it will. So the show kind of evolves organically. From 2 years ago, from simply showing the movies interspiced with the set built in the basement, it's evolved from going to locations live, adding special effects, cutaways, upgrading computer editing systems in order to continually upgrade the whole viewing experience for the audience. So it's think of it as a work in progress. You're watching art being made the whole entire time, from just how it used to look from what you've seen, the old footage is blurring. Now we've got even better, cameras, for example. We upgrade the sound, so it's always a work in progress, and we're just gonna keep riding that spooky wave and seeing where it takes us.
And also the confidence of all of us together and how we work together as a group. I think when you get people together that are all on vibing off of that. So, yeah. So you can kind of, and now that we're all not so nervous anymore, and things like that, it also helps.
And I can also say, it's really surreal sitting in a theater watching a part of your life from a few years ago, like on screen, and it's also funny because you can analyze yourself too and say, you know what? We're gonna change how we act. We're gonna tone it down. We're gonna change, you know what I mean? It's kind of like our characters have evolved as well, like from the appearance to the voices we use to, and it is a confidence thing as well. It is simply just doing it more and more. Each episode we do is better than the last because we constantly learn how to make our own DIY special effects, our own props. We draw on our own talents and our own backgrounds, and we come together to make something fun, just for fun.
One of the things I think you also see in the film is that it seems like if you're like, ooh, I don't have like the full idea, I'm gonna make my own show from scratch. It seems like there's people who are willing to let you test out and try out and experiment within before maybe never going off on one. So the interweaving of this community feels really special in terms of letting people kind of try out and try on characters and ideas and all for the spooky creative good, right? And so fun, right? You're like, yeah, let's have fun.
Hey, by the way, wasn't it cool to see the Avalon Theater in the documentary while we were watching it in the Avalon?
A strange, uncanny moment, you know. Love that kind of thing. Anyone? I saw a hand way at the back. Is that it was a raised hand or was that a stretch? It might have been a stretch. Any final questions? Otherwise, I hear. Ooh, right there in the middle.
So this is more of a personal rather than a professional question in general, but I was curious because the horror scene for movies is very like, there's a huge scene of like memorabilia, collectibles, like masks and posters and dolls and everything like that. I don't know if generally for all of you, if you're like collectors or anything like that, or if you have like personal favorite like memorabilia like the movie or any like particular like episode or show that makes like this like walk through the house and like, oh yeah, that's cool.
So the question is kind of about like collecting and geekery, really.
That's a great question. So, are we horror collectors ourselves? Do we have memorabilia in our home from our favorite movies? Now, when you asked that question, my mind immediately went to Storm. Storm's got quite the collection, and she'll tell you about maybe one or two of her favorite horror memorabilia ones in her collection.
One, which is my boogeyman. I just got to meet Douglas Tate. He played Michael Myers. Yes, and I did bring a mask. Yeah, and he did sign it. Oh, yeah. So very excited about that. We got to meet all different people. We got to meet King Potter. I mean, you know, just meet different. He was. Do you guys know who he was? King Potter. Jason, yes. I just was trying to get them. All right.
Did you hide the mask deep, far away so you don't spook yourself with it in your home?
Negative. When I got it, I scared people with it now.
Okay, you owned the fear.
No, I don't want it coming at me.
Oh yeah. It's a lot like it should be behind the camera and not in front of the camera yet. Exactly the same. It's a wonderful final question. Well, I have one which is like, what's next for the film? You have one more screening during the Milwaukee Film Festival, so tell folks to show up for that. But then, are there next plans for the film or next projects that you could share with this audience so we can keep an eye out on it?
So plans for film, yes. Wednesday night, we are screening at Downer Theater at 9:15, I believe. And I think next steps for the film is more festivals, and we do plan to release it on a streaming service and a DVD. Projects, I'm in school full-time right now, so life is extremely busy. But yeah, I have really only have like a music video that's possibly going to happen. But T and I also do QWERTY Fest, which is the typewriter festival, and I designed the zine for that. And yeah, T does a bunch of stuff. Yeah, he does.
So Birdie Fest is happening June 21st through the 23rd. It's a celebration of the typewriter, which was invented in Milwaukee. We're very excited because June 6th, we're screening California Typewriter. It's a documentary about typewriters and why people still enjoy them. So please check that out, because I think that sums up QWERTY Fest better than anything I can say if you just see that documentary, June 6th at the Oriental. Other than that, yeah, I'm working on a lot of weird stuff. And tell us though about how people can check out Storm's around.
Yes, you can watch us on KCM, which that's Jason over there. He's my director. Yeah, he was. You guys know. I know. Anyways, yes, you can watch it on there, kenoshamedia.org, or it's also played our shows every Thursday at 9:30 p.m. And also Roku, and then on Fridays we add to YouTube and or Vimeo.
Awesome. Well, we'll all go check out all of those things, including California Typewriter. Selfish plug to come to the Oriental Theater. One more big round of applause thanking you.